It is 1 o'clock on our watches, UK time, of course, 2 o'clock where you are back home in South Africa. Thank you very much for joining us for today's arrival press conference featuring Proteas head coach Mark BOUCHER. Now, before we get straight into it, just a couple of housekeeping rules. Just a reminder to please keep your monitors on mute unless you're asking a question. We will take follow-ups in the second round of questioning once everyone who wants to ask a question has had a go. And then just if you do want to ask a question, just a reminder to please indicate in the chat panel. Let's see who would like to take us away first. Nathan, then Amir.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Good day to everyone. Mark, my first question, what are your thoughts on the new DOC Enoch? A person who you know very well, as he was your assistant then, issues within the Proteas environment, to now being the person now you have to report to?
I'm quite excited. Besides reports of the past, myself and Enoch have always had a very good relationship, and we had a nice chat before we left. So I'm quite excited to work with him. I think he's got some fantastic ideas. He's been in the system for quite some time now as well, so he knows exactly what is required. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with him.
Thanks, Nathan. Amir?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. Coach, I was just looking at the squad that was assembled for the upcoming ODI series. There's about 7 or 8 batsmen, if I'm not mistaken, who could bat in the top 4 or 5 positions. Just talk to us about how good a headache that is for you to have, knowing that, you know, we have those kind of resources within the squad.
Yeah, I think if you have a look at the squad, I mean, it's a long tour, so we've sort of got guys here as well who could potentially be for quite a few of the different series as well. So yeah, we've got quite a few different options. These games that we're going to be playing now in the next couple of days will give us a good indication of where those players are as individuals. But yeah, I mean, I think we've sort of got a good idea, barring maybe 1 or 2 extra batters who our front lineup is going to be. So we'll just have to see how a bit of form plays itself out, and hopefully we get the proper headache of having everyone in the runs. The first game we're playing, we'll probably try and play 13, 14 players. We'll speak to the Lions head coach as well, just to give everyone an opportunity. And then the second game will be a proper game of cricket where it'll be classed as a list day game as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good opportunity for us now in these next couple of days to just get everyone ready, but also have an opportunity to see where each individual is in these conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. We'll go to here, then Craig. Nathan, we'll take your follow-up in the second round.
Hi Mark, I know you guys are obviously without your captain, but England have also gone. They don't have Owen Morgan any longer. How do you think? Do you think they need to adapt to a new captain in Josh, or will they just keep going how they always go? And also, what's the challenge like to win South Africa's first white ball series in England? Supposed to be ever, actually.
Yeah, look, I think the England side is a well-drilled side, so they have their style of play that they play. I don't see any major changes coming into their dressing room. Josh taking over, I'm sure he's going to go with what's been successful for them. And Morgan was a very good captain. They speak very highly of him here in England, and for good reason as well. So I don't see too many changes. He might bring in 1 or 2 of his own personal preferences into that environment. But we can only prepare for what we've seen in the recent past. So I don't see too many changes there. Sorry, the second part to the question?
I said South Africa have never won a limited overs white ball series in England. Just what are the challenges like? You've obviously played there before. What are the challenges?
Yeah, look, I think obviously that is something that we all know about. It is quite tough coming to England, and usually your one-day series are played at the beginning of the tour. So that also takes a bit of time to get used to the conditions. During COVID times we didn't have the opportunity to play a couple of warm-up games. Now we actually are playing a couple of warm-up games, so that'll stand us in good stead. There's also been a lot of our guys who have played a lot of cricket over here. Recently played in the 100 competition as well. So guys are not foreign to these conditions. So we'll have our meetings and we'll get a couple of guys to stand up and talk about what it's like and the different pressures of playing in England as well. So I think there's enough experience in our dressing room to make sure that we can, and hopefully start the tour very well, and try to put to bed that whole series thing where we haven't won.
Thanks, Ahir. Craig, then Sibusiso.
Hi, Mark. Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Mark. If I could just throw this forward a little bit to the Test series, we've seen England's style and how they've scored in excess of 250 in, I think, 4 consecutive matches in the Test. Do you think it's a benefit to you guys having seen how they're approaching the game? And now you've had sort of the New Zealand series and the India match to have a look at them. Does that give you a little bit of an advantage going into the Test series, knowing what's coming? Perhaps other teams are caught off guard with any change of regime.
Yeah, look, I think the new style, obviously Brendan's coming and he's sort of, we know how Brendan plays, or he played, and we've sort of heard the conversations around him when he was coach of KKR as well, that he wanted to have this really aggressive style of play. So, it's exciting to watch, and I watched a lot of the games as well, and England did really well. So yes, it is probably a little bit of advantage to us in some sort of way to have seen, and so we can expect them to come out and play the same brand of cricket that they are playing. I think there are a couple of things that you need to understand as well, is that you need to have the right players in your team to be able to do that. The conditions need to be favourable as well. We've come to England now, and every day has been hot, and it's been fantastic weather, so the wickets have obviously flattened out quite a bit. So yes, there's certain conversations that we'll have in our dressing room to try and counteract their aggressive approach. We always speak about having a bit of aggression, but being smart as well. So I think that's where our smartness is going to have to come into the equation as well. So a lot of conversations to happen before, especially going to red ball cricket. I think we understand that they've been playing like that in white ball cricket for quite some time. But there is a bit of time still to go to sum up the conditions and see maybe the wickets get even flatter and maybe a bit drier as well, that can bring spin into the equation. And we feel we've got all those different aspects covered in our squads.
Thanks, Craig. Sibusiso, then Morgan.
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Mark? Just on Enoch again, the issues that Enoch raised when he did depart the system as your assistant coach previously, have those been addressed? If so, would you still have conversations, or have you had conversations with Enoch post him expressing the reasons that he did when he left?
Are you talking about as an individual or as a team?
I'm talking about him saying that the environment wasn't exactly what he had hoped it would be.
I think Enoch's already addressed that. He said that the environment has changed and he's happy with that situation. That answers your question.
And have you had conversations together about that?
Yes, I've just said that I did have a conversation before we left to go to England.
Thanks, Sibusiso. We'll move on to Morgan and then Ken.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Mark. Mark, just a word on the inclusion of Gerald Coetzee for the T20s, and then, of course, the recall of Riley Rousseau. A fantastic opportunity for both these guys to make a mark in England should they get game time.
Look, to start off with Gerald Coetzee, we looked at the pace aspect, especially with where we're going to for a World Cup. He's been bowling fairly well. He's also come through the SAA side. So he's been on the edge for quite some time now. He's got a gift that is quite difficult to get, and that's pace and bounce. He's quite aggressive as well. So that's the sort of character that we were looking at. Maybe not necessarily to come in and play, but certainly as a backup to get into the system in case maybe something does happen to our fast bowlers, and we're not put under pressure to select someone who's never been in this environment before. So I think that's where we are looking at with regards to him. With regards to Riley, I mean, Riley's been in our system. He's played in our domestic season. He's performing all around the world. He was a standout player in our domestic system, which is the reason we first of all started looking at him. And he's just been playing all around the world and been doing really well. So that's just a situation. He's been in this environment before. It's about getting him back in and using his skill set as well.
Great, thanks. We are going to start taking final rounds of questions. Ken, you're up.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Mark. First of all, if you could talk a little bit about the absence of Temba Bavuma, your captain, obviously, and important at the top of the order there, and what that means to your plans and to the team. And then just ODIs are probably the one format which has lagged a bit in the last couple of years, guys. Are you looking to change the plan, or is it a matter of getting the right players to fit the plan?
Okay, first of all, Temba, yes, he's a massive loss for us, not only as a player but as a captain as well. What he brings to the side is immense. So, I'm hoping that he can get over his injury as soon as possible and get back into the environment. We've had a larger group of players for quite some time now, and we have got guys that will obviously come into his position, and they won't feel out of sorts because they've been in the environment and in the squad for quite some time. So we do have our backup plans for that as well. With regards to, sorry, your second question, there were quite a few questions there, Ken.
Just two, Mark. The ODI has been the one format which has maybe lagged a bit behind the other two in terms of results, and I just want to know, are you going to change the plan, or is it a matter of getting the right players to execute the plan?
No, I think we got the right players. I think there's been maybe a little bit of lack of form and continuity with regards to certain series as well, where we've lost players maybe to RPL. It's happened three times while I've been here. You get to 1-1 in a series. It happened against Pakistan, happened against Bangladesh. So I think we just need to, obviously understand that there is a World Cup looming, and we need to have some sort of continuity with regards to our selection and also the players being available for selection as well. I think our plans are good, and if we can just settle on that, then I do think that the results will naturally come.
Great. We're going to take the last three questions now, Zahir, Ngama, and then we'll end up with Nathan.
I had a few chats with Aiden just to check in how he's doing. He obviously left the IPL early and he was sick in India. Just how's he coping and is he looking forward to just getting back into international cricket?
Yeah, very much so. Aiden has been a successful Aiden Markram is good for the Proteas as a setup. He's played a lot of cricket, so I think everything happens for a reason. Obviously, he didn't play in India and came home, so he had a good bit of time to go back and just reflect on what's been a long season. So yes, I've had a chat to him. He's worked on a couple of things in his game, so I've got no doubt that he's itching to get out there and to try and score some runs for the Proteas.
Thanks, Zahir. Ngama, and then Nathan.
Hi, Mark. Just to go back to the England test approach, which is aggressive. Do you think it's a replicable approach in terms of other test teams? Is it something that we're going to see other test teams adopt? And what are some of the strategies that you guys are going to look to employ to sort of counter this England new approach? Thanks.
Well, I'm not going to tell you any other strategies because that'd just be stupid of me. But I think it probably is the way that the red ball cricket is going. If you have a look at the introduction of T20 cricket, the run rates have increased in red ball cricket. So I think it's a little bit of both. There's going to be times where, as I said, the conditions don't allow you to play that way. But certainly, if the conditions allow you to play that way, then and the bowler's under pressure, I'm sure that you're going to see better batting lineups try and put bowlers under pressure, and I think that's the conditions have allowed for England to play that way. And as I said, that's just about being smart and assessing those conditions on the day. And if you see a moment to really put the hammer down, we've seen how it can pay off as England have shown us. So yes, I do think Test cricket is going that way.
Great. We'll take Nathan, and then that'll conclude the press conference today.
Thank you again, Lucy. What will you be looking to achieve in the warm-up matches in the lead-up to the first ODI? Will you be giving everyone a go? Early in the press, you did kind of indicate you wanted to test the players where they are at this current moment, especially guys like Patron, Zondo, or even Lazard Williams, who haven't featured much. Do you perhaps have plans for them?
Well, there are 17 players, so as much as we can, we'll try to give everyone a go. Unfortunately, it's 2 games of cricket. As I said in the first game, we've opted for a game where we can try and get all of our batters to bat and then all of our bowlers to bowl. So we don't know how the game's going to plan out. We're having training and practices around these 2 games now as well, where we'll try to accommodate everyone. It is quite difficult when you've got 17 guys to look after. The second game will be a List A game, so it's basically the 11 that you choose, and I'd like to think that it's going to be close to what we are looking to play in the first game. This is not new to us, where we've had big squads of even 19. I think the communication is key, and the players need to understand that out of 19 or 17 players, only 11 can go onto the park, and in the short period of time that we got before the first one-day international, we need to look after those 11 players as we get closer towards the starting game. So we'll see what we can do to try and accommodate everyone. The conversations will be had, and hopefully everyone gets an opportunity to put their case forward.
Thanks, Mark.
Great, thanks Nathan, and thanks everyone for joining us today for today's Arrival press conference featuring BOUCHER. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks everyone.